Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and today we're going to have a conversation here. Very good conversation. Give people a little bit of time. I don't have my other tablet, so I can't share this over to my other page. So today, you guys are joining me in the kitchen of Uncle Renz Popcorn on Facebook over here, YouTube over there. Joining me in the kitchen. Not making anything right now. Closing out the day, got everything squared away. For those of you who have been ordering from Uncle Renz Popcorn, I greatly appreciate it. That's the letter U, the letter R, the word popcorn.com. Those who have come and supported the store, I greatly appreciate you as well. So, today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the social economic impact of Makur Maker going to Howard University. Many people, I don't really talk about sports on my channel, even though I love basketball. I love a lot of different sports, rugby, football. I love sports, but I don't really talk about sports that often unless it has some kind of bigger impact. And Makur Maker making the decision to go to Howard University, if he actually goes, because there is a caveat to him going, has a huge social economic impact, and that social economic impact can be parroted, can be duplicated in many other areas of our lives. This is one of those things where life can imitate the art of sports. So we're going to talk about this for just a minute. Now, if you're joining me for the first time, we talk about the 360 degrees of life. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications. If you're over on Facebook, thank you for being there. Share this video, but also go over to my YouTube page. I greatly appreciate that as well. YouTube page is Larenzo Reid. LaRenzoreid. So we're talking about Makur Maker. Now, many people don't know who this young man is. He is a top 15, top 16 high school athlete, basketball player, and he is the cousin of Thon Maker, who's already been in the NBA. It is said, and many pundits say that many scouts are saying he's better than his cousin Thon. Nothing against Thon Maker or his brother, or no, his other cousin. So he comes from a good basketball family, good basketball training, and he is one of the top recruits. Now, most of the time, these top recruits who are one and done stock type players, meaning they spend 1 year in college and go straight to the NBA. Makur had the ability to petition to the NBA to allow him to go straight to the NBA from high school, and it was granted. So he could go to the NBA. But in the event that he doesn't, he has signed on with Howard. He had the ability to go to so many other D1 colleges, here Southern California, to go to Howard, to go to Harvard. But he chose, in the midst and the climate of police brutality, in the climate of racial tension in America, he decided that he wanted to go to an HBCU. He chose Howard, and he also is employing other young men who will to follow him. Others, I think his name is Mikey Miller, who is a sophomore, who already has, he'll be a sophomore this year, and already has colleges offering him scholarships. He is asking that these young men to follow him to the HBCUs. Now, many people, in ESPN pundits and whatnot, are saying that this won't start a movement. They won't start going to HBCUs. They won't get the television time. They won't get the ability to be there, and that these one and done guys are not going to make such a social impact. I think that they're wrong. I think they're missing out on what really is going to happen. Yes, they're saying that right now, the Kentuckys and Dukes and of the world are not afraid. They're not shaking in their boots thinking that all these top tier black athletes are going to start going to HBCUs. They're not afraid of that because they have these huge programs. They have all the money. They have all the television time. They've won the NCAA championships, and that these guys are not going to start this huge migration. Well, I think they are shaking in their boots. I think they are. And the reason why I think they're shaking in their boots is not because they will lose the one and done guys. Is because they will start to lose the supporting cast guys. And I'm going to break that down a little bit. And then I'm going to show you how that relates to the black community as a whole. Okay? So understand there's a social economic impact that will happen beyond the sport itself. So generally what happens with these one and done guys, and the reason why these coaches have the ability to bring in a one and done guy, go win a championship, then the next year bring in another one, go win a championship or compete for one. The reason they're able to do that is not because of the one and done guy. Jordan didn't win championships when he was the one guy. You know, Kareem didn't win championships when he was the one guy. It takes a cast, it takes a crew. You need glue guys, you need those defensive guys, you need those second and third tier guys on your team. And so these programs like your Dukes and Kentucky, they've built these programs that they not only attract the big guy, but they really are attracting those second tier guys, the ones that you build a team, the one that builds your team. The HBCUs haven't been attracting those guys. They haven't been attracting the top tier guys or those guys. But by getting top tier talent, getting your Makur makers, these schools will now start also being able to recruit your second tier and third tier guys. They will, because they will get more television, because they will get more focus, they will be able to do that. Okay? And hold on for a second, I'm at work. Yes. Huh? I don't even know who that is, but no. I tell them I'll talk to them tomorrow. Take a message. It's the way it's like. You do it live and that's what happens, right? So anyway, so what happens is they'll recruit these schools like Howard. Once they start getting your Makur makers, even if it's for 1 year or 2 years, some of the other talent that was going to go to your Kentuckys and Dukes are not going to go there. They're going to say, oh, I want to go play with this guy. And this will allow the HBCU to build a basketball program, to build a more competitive basketball program. Because by the time somebody like Miller gets into college, he still has, 3 more years of high school. There will have been the 2 year and the 3 year players who are foundational players that will already be at the HBCUs, which will make it more attractive. And as we get 5 years, 6 years, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, there will be a lot. It will be normal for a second tier, third tier guy to go to an HBCU, and then the top tier guys will know they're coming into a program. It will take some time for that to happen, but this is what the Dukes, the Southern Cals, these teams will be shaking, the Louisvilles will be shaking in their boots about, is losing the structure players, the ones that hold the foundation of their programs. That's what they're going to be afraid of losing, and that's what they're going to lose. So now there are many sports related and educational related social impacts and economic impact. Howard will not have to travel for the majority of their games in order to make enough money to support their programs. They will get the television revenue now. They will get more people in the stands of their own stadiums. They will have more kids who want to go to Howard simply because it becomes a more branded name. So that will grow the school as well. Other HBCUs will benefit in the same way. More kids will want to go there. So it's going to make it some place where kids want to go. It's going to make it a place where athletes want to go, and thereby build the entire school in itself. So it will have that impact. It will take some time. And this video is going to be short because that, just as that is going to take some time, it is also going to demonstrate how we build our communities, period. How we build our communities, period. Now, some of you know and have signed up for my 360-degree business mentoring program. The basic idea of this is for me to teach you how to build a business system. I sit here at Uncle Renz Popcorn, and I don't have to be out there, nor I have to pop anything here, because there's a business system at play. When you build a system, that's what these coaches are going to be able to build now, is build a system, right? When you have that ability, now you can build something that has enough structure and enough foundation that other people can come in and out and continue to grow the program or to grow the business. So what I'm saying is, many people start businesses that are purely just hustles. They're just a hustle. They're a side gig. They're something that you do on the side. When you had previously guys going to these HBCUs who they might at best go play in Europe or China or Australia. At best, that's what you was getting. Your star player at a Howard University at best previously was going to go play in China, New Zealand, somewhere like that, and then hope to one day get on, or maybe even get on to the G League. But when you take the time to bring in that star, like Makur Maker, now you will attract those guys who will start to have a legitimate chance of making it directly into the league, into the NBA, or go to the bigger European leagues, or go straight into the G League. So you'll attract those guys because they're going to get that attention, and they're playing with better players. They're going to play stiffer competition now. We do the same thing in our communities. You see, when we start to develop bigger and better businesses in our communities, we inspire others to do the same. We start building a foundation in our community that will allow for us to have more, to do more. There are parts of, like, I love coffee. That's what I'm having right now, some coffee, right? There are places on the east side of town where there are virtually zero coffee shops on the east side of Atlanta. Virtually. And there's no big brand other than Dunkin' Donuts, right? Which is not a real coffee shop. You have this gap because the big brands don't believe they can build that foundation and make the kind of money that they look to make on this side of town. Even though the possibility is there, even though the money is there, they don't believe that they will. So they stray away from it. And without the big brands coming in, a lot of the political and foundational community development doesn't happen. But we have to realize that we can build our own big brands. We just have to have that first one to step out there. Makur Maker is that first one that's stepping out there in this climate and saying, I'm going to an HBCU. Now I want you to think about something. Here's the thing. Many people will start to talk about Black Wall Streets at this point. Well, there was a Black Wall Street of the NBA at one point, or of college basketball, my apologies, at one point. Before integration, where the black athletes had to go to the HBCUs for the most part, they dominated. They would beat the PWI schools left and right. No problems. Of course, because of racism, they didn't get invited to the NCAA tournaments and that sort of thing. But they would beat these, what are now big schools, left and right prior to 1969. After integration, of course, they were some of the ones that grabbed those athletes right off the bat. They grabbed them, they pulled them in, they knew that these athletes will bring their programs up. Even at the local level. I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. If you research the history of Marietta, Georgia, you'll see that during integration there was Lemon Street High School and Marietta High School. Lemon Street High School football team used to beat other football teams like 107 to like 14. Like, look up their yearbook, that's what they were doing. They were beating teams like 80 to 0 in football. Marietta integrated incredibly fast in the 1960s, and Marietta High won state championship after state championship because they grabbed those athletes real quick. The same thing happened after integration in college basketball. Those black athletes were grabbed into the big program, the PWI schools, and they built their programs on the backs of those young men. That was the Black Wall Street of basketball. We're reversing the process now. This could be the beginning of reversing that process, or at least balancing out that process. When schools like Howard University start attracting your Makur Makers, when they start attracting your Millers, your Bronnies, start attracting these young kids, these kids who are 10, 11 years old right now, they start growing up seeing these top tier talents go to HBCUs. It won't be a foreign thing for them. In the next few years, when they start seeing these HBCUs compete in the NCAA tournament, have opportunities to win in the NCAA tournament, even more of them will then start going. And when those guys go, the foundation guys go, the structure guys will go. This is where your second tier, your guys like your Robert Ory's of the NBA, that kind of guy in college starts going. That high school kid who he wasn't the star, or he might have been a star at his school, but he's not that talent to lead the team in college, but he's that talent to glue the team in college. Those guys start going to the HBCUs. Now they can build a program for the one and dones. Now they can compete annually in the NCAA tournaments and win. That starts happening. Those kids who are 10, 11 years old right now, they'll get to see that growth. They will go to the HBCUs. So I believe the pundits are so incorrect when they say that this will not become a trend. I think that they are so incorrect when they say that this will not inspire legions of kids to go to HBCUs. I think it will. It will inspire those foundational guys to go. And from this, we do the same thing in our own communities. We start building the businesses that we wish would come into our neighborhoods. Instead of wishing for them to come, build it ourselves. If we do that, then we bring up our neighborhood. And bringing up every neighborhood is the benefit of America. I find it interesting that we don't consider America as the wealthiest country in the world. The poorest American is far greater than the poorest person, has far more benefits and wealth than the poorest person in any place on the planet. But the average American should be living almost like a wealthy person in most other countries in America. There's no reason for Americans to suffer, any American community to suffer in the way it does. So we can do this ourselves. Just as Makur Maker made a decision, we have to make a decision. So I'm gonna leave you guys with this sentiment. You know, the fact of the matter is, I'm doing the 360 Business Degree Mentoring Program that's starting on Wednesday, 6 a.m. This first 8 weeks is free. After the 8-week program, it will not be free anymore. So I look forward to you doing it. If you're interested in being a part of this 360 Degree Business Mentoring Program, then send me your email address to masteringyou10@gmail.com. I just sent out the required reading list for this 8-week program. And I'm going to tell you guys what that reading list is right now. The first book, and they have to be read in order, is The Richest Man in Babylon. The second book is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Third book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then the final one is my own financial guide called Financial Alchemy DIY, which only if you are in the program will you get that one. You have to show up that first day. And I said it for 6 a.m. because if you're not willing to give up one day to wake up, to learn how to build a business plan, a marketing plan, an advertising plan, to learn customer service, to learn how to get your credit, your business credit, your personal credit, to buy property. If you're not interested, if you can't get up at 6 in the morning to go over an 8-week program to build all these things, then building wealth is not within you. To make yourself more marketable, to create a marketing engine that continues to turn over and bring you new clients constantly without you having to spend a ton of money to bring in new clients. If you're not willing to get up to do that, then get your job, become great at your job, and try to figure out how you can save about $2,000 a month and put that into a vehicle that makes you 10% interest per annual so that you can retire in 20 years and live off the interest of $1.36 million. That should be your plan. But if you can get up and you want to do this first round, and I will be taking donations while I'm doing it, but if you can get up, then send me your email address and you can be a part of this program. I'm not going to people have been asking me, like, can you give me more detail? I've given you the detail. Business plans, marketing plans, how to do sales, customer service, writing SOPs, doing all your business finances in the proper way so that you can account for everything and how to set everything up. I'm not going into great depth to try to sell you because I am not selling anybody. If you don't want to do it, you just don't want to do it. I have my business. It's not something I need to do, but it's something that I love doing. So if you can't see the value, then you shouldn't, then don't do it. But we're going to do this live over Zoom, and it'll be done through Zoom every Wednesday, just one day a week. So I look forward to it. Got right now There's a lot of people. There's quite a few people signed up for it. It's going to be a great time. I look forward to it. And after this one, I'll run that program back again. But the second time around, it's going to cost. So y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good vibrations and good journey.